you can't necessarily worry about what's going on with somebody else's situation. I'll tell you a couple of reasons why it was great for the Knicks. Besides the fact that Kristaps Porzingis is coming off a major injury, has dealt with multiple injuries as such a young player. You didn't necessarily want to give him a big deal until you saw him perform. That's where you see the freedom from Porzingis. How about the flexibility for 2 max spots? Have you guys been paying attention to who's going to be a free agent this offseason? Yes. Guys like Kawhi and KD and Kyrie and Clay and Jimmy Butler and Kemba Walker. You have to be in play if you're a team like the Knicks. Also, Dennis Smith Jr. is good at basketball. He showed promise as a rookie. He's going to continue to improve under Coach Fizdale. Oh, did I mention the Knicks have a lottery pick this year that could end up being Zion Williamson or R.J. Barrett if they get the top 2 picks. And also, they get 2 first-round picks from the Mavs. You get a chance to build out. They can get a starting 5, okay? This was great for the Knicks. The last time I checked, yes, Porzingis did make the All-Star team. I like his promise. But he didn't show me that he was going to be the kind of transformational player in New York that was going to lift them to a number 1 seed like we see the Greek Freak doing with Milwaukee. I saw his situation becoming more like AD in New Orleans, a guy that was going to get a lot of numbers and really be productive, but I didn't know that was going to necessarily lead to future success long-term for the Knicks. So this is a win-win for their franchise, and I think they're going to find ways to be relevant again because of this major move.
Jalen Rose, I know you know things, and oftentimes you say things that end up coming to fruition later on down the road. So I'm going to ask you straight up, is Kevin Durant going to play for the New York Knicks next season?
Possibly. And I'm just going to be 100. So if you have an opportunity, again, to free up 2 max slots, Clippers did it. The Nets have also done it. In New York City, when you hear rumblings that KD may consider coming to New York, when Kyrie Irving is in the Garden, not committing long-term to the Boston Celtics, and he talks about seeing him on July 1st, and everybody talks about how much they love performing on that stage. So you need to be in play if you're the New York Knickerbockers, and they did just that.
They have put themselves in play. Now, one thing is found really interesting about this is Kristaps Porzingis just sort of had some tension with the franchise. We all know that he had missed the exit interview. There was a thing on Instagram between him and Coach Fizz, and now there's reports that he went into and had a meeting last week, midweek, and said he was unhappy with the direction of the franchise, that he was subsequently dealt, and then he did what people always do. He got a little socially awkward. He had one post that we didn't see that said the truth will come out. And then over the weekend, he had another post on an Instagram story. This, quote, "The city deserves better than that. My suggestion for Knicks fans is to stay woke. Peace." Jalen Rose, why is Kristaps Porzingis telling Knicks fans, who some of which were like you and I celebrating this move over the weekend, what is he warning Knicks fans against? What do they need to stay woke for?
You know I'm a Kristaps fan, and when I heard that he goes to World Star Hip Hop, his stock went through the roof in my eyes. However, since English isn't his primary language, I'm not going to overreact to the term woke based on if you look at the hierarchy in New York City. It just happens to be the first African-American trio president, general manager in Steve Mills, Scott Perry, and head coach David Fizdale. I'm not going to take it that far, but people can misconstrue what he said by what I just gave, by that distinction I just gave. He was unhappy with the New York Knicks for the last couple of years. And so if he wanted to be elsewhere, that's his right as a player. It's up to the team to grant him that wish. The team moved him. He landed in a great spot. Luka Doncic and he are going to be terrific. The Mavs get their fill-in for Dirk a 7-footer that had been knocking down threes for the past couple of decades. Mark Cuban gets his non-American born player, as he's come out recently and talked about basically how he wished all American born players would be forced to go play overseas because that would make them better. So I saw them ship out the American born players and Dennis Smith Jr. and DeAndre Jordan and Matthews, those expiring contracts. So it's all for the greater good of the Mavs and the Knicks. I think both teams did a terrific job.
So, Jalen, I want to turn your attention to another basketball contest which I was so excited for. The Los Angeles Lakers traveling to the Bay, where they waxed the Warriors on Christmas. LeBron had played previously that Thursday against the Clippers. I had set up all my plans. I was just going to put the kids to bed and just lock in on this one basketball contest. And then something funny happened. Looking at my Twitter feed, and it was announced that LeBron James would not play in the game because of load management. LeBron James previously played Thursday, played 40 minutes, had all Friday to rest, had all Saturday to rest because this was a later game, started at 5:30 in the West Coast. LeBron has to play in that game, Jalen Rose. Why do you think, and feel free to give out a theory here, a little conspiracy theory, why do you think LeBron James did not play in this basketball contest on national network television?
I don't mind giving you a conspiracy theory because it's only right in this case. And I'm going to put a bow on it at the end. First, I talk about Anthony Davis not wanting to be in New Orleans long-term in September. Woj breaks the news in January to validate it. Then Rich Paul makes a statement about it.
He does.
Then Anthony Davis Sr. comes out and lets the Celtics know that I don't want my son to play for you. And then Anthony Davis comes out and addresses the media. And then all of a sudden, the Lakers do an offer. And we hear it's a lowball offer. And LeBron James, I'm pretty sure, isn't happy to hear that the team was pump faking on its initial offer.
Let's take a look at the Woj tweet. Let's take a look at the Woj tweet that details the offer. It says, in the Lakers' first offer to the Pelicans for Anthony Davis, LA offered Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Rajon Rondo, and, wait for it, Michael Beasley and a first-round pick. So you think LeBron James sees this Woj tweet and reacts how?
Here's how I know he sees the Woj tweet, and that's what I meant by wrapping a bow on this. LeBron James is savvy enough to know at this point of his career, after dealing with an injury that cost him to miss 17 straight games, the most that he's done at this point of his career, now that has to expedite the timeline. And once those series of events become public about Anthony Davis, I mentioned that gave the Lakers basically a 10-day window to get a deal done. And so for